say to them, and you have all this stuff internalized and memorized, but you're not actually having a real communication with your client. G'day, it's Paul McWilliam here, and this is another Monday morning with Macca. Now today's topic is authenticity. Now it's taken me a little while to come up with today's topic because there's so much I want to talk about, but this is one that just kept coming back and back. Now authenticity to me is just being true to yourself. Who am I as a person? How am I going to interact with you in a professional or personal basis, depending on what the relationship is? And there's a lot of talk about authenticity in marketing these days. And I know for a fact in real estate, in the real estate space, there's a lot of talk about it in the training sphere. Now, you wouldn't be surprised to know that training is a big part of real estate and being a salesperson. And in any sales field, if you're in the sales field, you should be undertaking some degree of training. But there's a real shift, I feel, in the marketplace in terms of consumers. People don't want to be sold to anymore. That's my opinion. I certainly don't want to be sold to. I don't want somebody knocking on my door. I don't want someone calling me unsolicited. And that's been the basis for success in real estate for the last 20 or 30 years. Who can make the most phone calls, who can knock on the most doors, who can get in the most mailboxes and in front of the most people. Now there's been a real shift, and I think what you're finding now is there have been some agents that have been super successful doing that, and they've been super successful on a volume basis, but there has been I guess a lack of that authentic interaction with their clients. You hear it all the time, real estate's a numbers game. And that's what the trainers teach people. It's a numbers game. It's just talking to as many people as you possibly can to get in as many doors as you can, and eventually you'll find someone who wants to sell a house with you. Now that's never been a way that I've wanted to do the job. I hate being pushed on myself. Mari's been with me now for 4 or 5 years in the industry. She hates it as well. She's been in the sales space in retail for 25, 30 years, and that certainly wasn't her style either. So what we like to do is just interact with people on a personal basis to try and find out what problem they have that we can hopefully solve. And if we can't solve it, well then they'll need to find somebody else who they can solve the problem better than we can. Now we've, to our own detriment, missed a lot of business because we've just told people straight what we think the property's worth. And that's it. Our honest opinion, this is what we think your property's worth, this is the interest we think you'll achieve, this is the best way to do it. But there's a real culture within our business, and it comes from the scripts and dialogues corner of the world. If you're in sales, you know what I'm talking about, but if you're not in sales, scripts and dialogues are learning a script off by heart, learning how to answer someone's objections. If they talk about your fee, this is what you say to them. If they talk about price, this is what you say to them. And you have all this stuff internalized and memorized, but you're not actually having a real communication with your client. They're talking, you're just waiting to spit out your line that counters what they're saying. You're not actually using these things. You're not actually using the 6 inches between your ears as well to think about, okay, what do they want? What problem do they want solved? And I guess that I'm talking to agents here in some respect, that I think the consumer has moved past that now. No one wants to be sold to. No one wants to be hassled, pressured. So we need to find how can we interact with people where they're not going to feel obliged or pressured into doing something that they'll later regret. And that's why we're putting out lots of content. That's what content. Mari and I are putting out lots of content, free content. We're trying to share all the things that we know and we understand about this industry out to the public, and then they can choose and they can decide whether they want to interact with us to maybe help them solve the problem of selling their house. And I think in future, that's the way you need to go. You need to be there, you need to know what you're doing, you need to do your training, you need to know what's happening in the marketplace, you need to know how to negotiate. But what I see is a lot of these younger people coming through, and even just people new to the industry, they're being pumped into this factory of learning all this stuff, spitting out the same answers. And I had a message the other day from someone saying, I go to open inspections all the time and all the agents sound the same. You guys are different because you actually talk to me. Everyone else, they're just all sprouting the same stuff. And to me, that was great because I know we're doing something right. If we're doing things differently to everyone else, to me, we're on the right track. And not too many agents out there with beards, not a three-piece suit sort of guy. But you look at a lot of these new people coming through and the companies that are very prominent at the moment, they've only just got different colours on their signs, but pretty much everything else is the same. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. They're saying the same things, they're doing the same things. There's no differentiation. So then it becomes a price war. Who can do it for the cheapest and who can tell me the highest price for my house? We're not going to be part of that game. Providing great information, sharing information that we know works, talking to you, learning from you more importantly, because we don't know everything. We want to learn from our clients. So my advice to anyone getting into the industry, you need to really engage with people on a personal level. Find out how you can help them. And if you can't help them, refer them to somebody that can. So that's my minute with Macca today. A bit of a ramble, but I just wanted to get that off my chest, that authenticity, I think, is the key moving forward. It's about real conversations, real relationships, none of this fake stuff, none of this pre-learned lines and scripts and dialogues. It's about interacting with people, and it's a two-way street, and then everyone will come out on top and there'll be a great result for everyone. Have a great day. Talk to you next Monday.